What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Who shot Megan Thee Stallion? Kelsey Harris, one of the 3 people who were involved in the incident before the alleged shooting, testified and shocked the entire courtroom. Well, guys, I hate to say this, but the truth that's slowly being revealed about this case just gets crazier and crazier. And what will be revealed in this specific episode may very well surprise you too. Listen, it's getting very obvious that people are starting to realize who's lying, who's telling the truth, and who definitely might be going to jail. So today's video is brought to you by Lawyers for Workers. Make sure you guys check them out on Instagram. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
And it gets crazier. We are on a 15-minute break. Got to get back into the courtroom very quickly. I sat at 12 o'clock directly in Kelsey's line of vision. I watched her testify. I watched her deny that Tory threatened to shoot her. I watched her confess that she lied to the police when she said that. The reason why she was lying to the police, the investigators, is because she wanted to protect herself.
He said, I heard her deny that Tory threatened to shoot her. Her is Megan Thee Stallion. What she's saying is that she heard Megan's ex-best friend at this point, right? Because it doesn't look like this chick is taking Megan's side. But more on that later. So basically, Megan's friend who was there during the incident says, I did not hear Tory Lanez threaten to shoot her, which is a big deal because story is, as told by Megan Thee Stallion, that Tory did make threats to shoot her. All right, let's get back into it.
Self. OMG. The rest of the testimony that we just saw in the after lunch session was a prosecutor holding on for dear life to a recording between her, a police investigator, and another LA County prosecutor, and Kelsey, and just replaying that recording and saying, Kelsey, didn't you say this? And Kelsey saying, I did. Kelsey, is that true? And Kelsey saying, no, I lied. Did the LA County prosecutors give Kelsey immunity? I think so. They did, didn't they? That's what I reported this morning. That's what I saw in this courtroom. Does Kelsey sound like a believable witness? No. Is Tory Lanez accusing her of being the shooter? Yes. I'll tell you something. That jury, most of them, it looked like they had their mind made up. I don't know which way, but they saw that person say that I lied about all that to protect myself. They're going to hear that there was gunshot residue on her.
Wow. Listen, man, this is huge.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
This is some bitter coffee that probably a lot of people weren't expecting. We have Megan's friend here who actually, if you remember in the original video, set this chick up with Tory, but when she got sick, her and Tory started to fool around, right? Is now confessing that she did not hear Tory threaten Megan Thee Stallion, and she did not see Tory Lanez shoot Megan Thee Stallion. When asked why she lied, she says, oh, I didn't want to incriminate myself. And they asked, well, for what? And she pled the fifth, right? She didn't want to share any more information. But wait, if you're a little bit confused, here's more information, more detailed information that just might clear things up. No more wasting time. Let's get back into it.
We are done. Kelsey is not done. She will be back tomorrow for another day of testimony. In fact, the opening direct examination by the prosecution of Kelsey started in the morning. It's still not finished. It's going to continue to tomorrow, and then we'll get cross-examination. Let me catch you up on what happened. Kelsey testified that everything that she had told prosecutors and investigators before, suggesting that Tory had shot at Meg, was a lie. That she did it, why? To protect herself. Why was she protecting herself? She didn't want to incriminate herself. And then there was this back and forth exchange that just kept going on. They were saying the same thing to each other. I don't know why the judge allowed it. The prosecutor's like, why? She's like, to protect myself. Why? To protect yourself from what? And she just kept saying, to protect myself. Finally, they moved on.
That's kind of weird. Protect yourself from what? I don't know. I'm hearing that and I'm like, she might have shot Megan, right? Could have been your friend, Meg. And of course, Megan probably doesn't like that coffee.
This coffee smells like shit.
prosecutor's story basically comes down to this. They're introducing evidence that Kelsey seems to deny, but then doesn't seem to deny, as far as Tori making offers to say, hey, I'll give you this money when they're in the car and the police are coming up behind them and there's a helicopter overhead. Tori's like, yeah, I'll give you $1 million. Don't say anything. And she's like, I didn't take that. I didn't know what he was talking about. And then there's another meeting that happens later on between Tori and her. And she says, I didn't take any money. But she, at the same time, doesn't deny that offers were made. The other part that prosecutors are using and hanging their hat on are messages after the shooting where Kelsey is communicating with other people, including a key text message where Kelsey says, Tori shot Meg. That was sent to Meg's security guard. For the cross-examination, what I'm looking and expecting for the defense to do is basically pin Kelsey as the shooter. They're going to start with the gunshot residue. They're going to say she's got gunshot residue on her. And then they're going to start pointing out to all, and there are so many, I don't even think you can cover them all, of the inconsistencies in the stories between Meg and Kelsey. One of the biggest inconsistencies that I can't make any sense of is Meg says that she was out of the car alone. Kelsey says, no, we were both out of the car. She said that today in court. We were both out of the car when the shots happened. Kelsey vehemently denied that she saw any type of shooting, and she kind of kept saying that there were just gunshots that went off. She did not admit how.
I'm thinking she probably doesn't want to admit that she was in the car too, because if she was in the car, that would make her a suspect, because Megan claims that the shots came from inside the vehicle, right? I don't know, just speculating here, guys. Comment down below. What do you guys think of this so far? Wild. Let's keep listening.
I think a juror is going to go one of two ways. A juror is going to look at this and say she's been paid off, she's lying for Tori, Tori is a criminal mastermind, guilty. I think a juror might look at her and say she's trying to protect herself from incriminating herself about being involved in this shooting. And so she's lying, and maybe she's the shooter, and that's enough for me to say reasonable doubt the prosecution hasn't met their burden. We shall see.
Wow.
This case is not ending anytime soon. Stay tuned.
Wow. Mercy. Could it be that Tori is some criminal mastermind who paid off Kelsey, who knew to keep his mouth shut when it happened? I'm speculating here, right? Because that's the other possibility. And she didn't deny that offers were made, but she claims that she didn't take any money. Things are getting even more crazy. As always, the internet definitely had a lot to say about this newfound information. People had a lot to say, man, and they have very strong opinions. First comment here comes from a woman, and it says, Today admitted 3 months ago that she lied to the prosecutors in September. She should be held accountable for that, but the judge has decided that the testimony to the prosecutors aren't credible. This comment comes from a woman, and it reads, if she was out the car supposedly when the gunshots went off, how is she going to explain gun residue on her hands? That is true, right? And that's the confusing thing, is that I believe those gun residue on her hands and on Tori Lane's hands as well. Next comment here says, Cross is going to be epic. She goes on to say, I can hardly tell. Prosecutors are grasping at straws. Now Tori paid Kelsey to lie, which is a crime, but they haven't charged him with tampering with evidence, with the laughing emoji and 50 likes. Next comment reads, well, it wouldn't matter which scenario they go with because they don't know or have proof of either. Dismiss the case. She's like, dismiss it altogether. This next couple of comments actually turned into a thread. It started out with this guy who commented exactly what you said. Maybe the jury will probably side with Meg. They go and be like, why did Kay send those texts to the security guy? Why is she pleading the fifth now? Maybe because she was paid off. That's why. I don't know, man. All it takes is one of the jurors to come up with some stupid theory and the rest of the jury will agree. What do you guys think? Right? Do you think that Kelsey was paid off by Tori Lanez? And if so, that would be a crazy play by Tori. So a woman actually responded back to that guy and said, I doubt it. These are older people on the jury. They will look at Meg unfavorably because of all the lies. The lies that Megan has told so far definitely ruined her reputation. This commenter goes on to say, then the defense is already positioned themselves to paint Kelsey as the shooter. Kelsey isn't helping the prosecution's case by contradicting Megan's testimony, and the fact she kept saying to protect / not incriminate herself raises eyebrows. Yeah, that's weird. You must be the shooter. She's like, I don't want to incriminate myself. Well, everybody's like, wait, what? Did you shoot back? Comment goes on to say she doesn't want to right out say she's the shooter because of public scrutiny, but she's saying it without saying it. They're wasting taxpayers' dollars at this point. Yeah, maybe Kelsey's the one who needs to be drinking some coffee.
No, I'll have a tea, actually.
Another person added to this thread and said they don't have to believe that Tori is innocent to return a not guilty verdict. A shadow of a doubt can be enough, and to convict him, they have to be unanimous. We've got another thread here that starts out with a woman who says, all those rich people and not one surveillance camera in sight? Question mark. Yeah, that is kind of true. And somebody else responded back to that chick and says, I've been saying this since day one. They were at Kylie Jenner's house. No way in hell there wasn't a camera that caught all this, not to mention bodyguards that stays on the property. Someone else responded back to that person and said, when this situation occurred, they were not at Kylie's house. Yeah. And I believe Kylie actually kicked them out. You know, they started acting up and she was like, nah, not over here. Next comment reads, everybody in the car need to be behind bars. Someone was shot and people are lying. Another person responded back to that guy and says, facts, put Megan, the liar, behind bars. This was the last thread here and the most interesting thread. Pay close attention to this, guys. This was interesting. Starts out with this woman who says, so Tori was messing with Kelsey. Then Meg messed with him behind her back. He was flirting with Kylie. Meg got jealous. Tori threatened to shoot Meg over her talking shit about him and his career. Kelsey and Tori wrestled with the gun and Meg got shot. I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't seem too far-fetched. It just doesn't. 20 likes, comment down below. I'm curious to know, what do you guys think of that theory? Another woman responded back to that chick and said, more like Kelsey got tired of Meg talking shit, up the gun. Tori tried to stop her, the tussle, gun goes off, then Meg gets shot. The first chick responded back to that woman and said, this too. And somebody else here added and said, pretty much, which is exactly why Tori been saying the entire time. Crazy. Yeah, this is a weird one, but let me finish reading these comments. Someone else added to the comment and said, this is the most believable approach. And the final comment here says, I agree. This is an interesting theory of how if there was a gun and a shot did go off, this makes sense. This also may explain why Kelsey and Tori are kind of like decided to band together. Now, of course, I have no idea, but it wouldn't be far-fetched to me, man, that like it was a situation where Kelsey got jealous. You know, it just makes sense, man. Women fight over men all the time. And wrestling over a gun, shot gets fired. Who do you blame in that situation? Listen, man, I'm definitely more curious to know what you guys have to say about the situation. So make sure you comment down below. So what did we learn in this episode? Well, we learned a lot, but of course, we're left with more questions and answers. And the question is Kelsey the shooter? Because she admitted that she lied about seeing Tori shoot Meg. Or is Tori the shooter who paid Kelsey off and he's in fact some criminal mastermind? Or was there a situation where they were fighting over the gun? And this came out of nowhere. Of course, this came from the comment section, but hey, who knows? And gunshots went off and there's sort of a gray area on who's to blame. Listen, guys, as always, I'm curious to know what you think. Comment down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod, man. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.